سمي مجابي سرعة تسفى ورها يلبها ورراي دقوع تنبيني طايا مهبر سلاسي ايو قوذبا.
My name is Magabe Sarat Tesfai Abraha. I live in the vicinity of Mahaber Selassie, which is located in Dogo Atemben district. I know Gizwa, Cotanus Leishmaniasis, from my early childhood. And we all know that it's been such a serious public health problem since our forefathers. Its cause was not clearly known, and it has been inflicting severe suffering to our community. The contracting spot too was unknown. We have grazing fields where the youth stay keeping their cattle. Oftentimes it's from such areas that people get infected. In the beginning the CL lesion appears as a tiny spot, but it itches you too much and keeps on expanding. Gradually it becomes a serious wound. Then our community had treatments for it, such as burning the lesion with a firewood called sirau or Acacia abyssinica, as well as herbal medicines that are applied on the very lesion, which is usually on the exposed areas such as face and hands. Then it's covered by a piece of cloth to cling the herbals to the wound. At times, the wound gets worse and additional treatments are applied. It's a very painful experience. We even know a woman whose nose and eyes were damaged by CL and died out of the suffering. CL affects all sections of our community: men, women, religious leaders, children, etc. Especially children are forced to drop out of school. For example, my grandson has severe CL lesion on his hands and face. Then he had to stop schooling for 3 academic years, because his schoolmates mock at him and he was discriminated for his CL lesions. Similarly, the priestess with a CL lesion are not allowed to carry out their daily church services. Our religion does not allow someone with a wound that has a potential of smelling or bleeding to get into the temple. So they can only pray from around the church yards or just stay at home. CL was also affecting the marriage of couples and their families. Women with CL do face multiple challenges. The physical pain is much worse on women, for the lesion appears on their hands and face, which are also exposed to the frequent heat of the firewood. And socially, such a woman is discriminated even by her husband, as he thinks she is poorly performing her work. Importantly, he would disregard her as she becomes sexually inactive due to the perception that sexual intercourse aggravates the CL lesion. Such physical and psychosocial factors in turn lead to disagreements and divorce. Generally, cutaneous leishmaniasis has long been a public health problem with severe consequences. In the meantime, 3 strangers, namely Binaga, Mahalet and Desalegn, came to our village in July 2021. We did not know who they are and what they do. They simply kept on living with us, doing whatever we do. They visited our farmlands and helped us in our farming activities. They observed many things in our environment, including the caves. They discussed with children, adults, religious leaders, and attended the church congregations. Yet they didn't tell us what they are doing with us. They simply left our vicinity saying that they would come back. But the war got worse. In October 2023, they came back with a group of other researchers and convened us. Then they clearly told us that Binaga, Mahalet and Desalegn were doing ethnographic study on CL. And the purpose of their current visit was to openly discuss about Hamam Gizwa, the CL disease, with community representatives. We were some 10 community members. They told us CL is a curable disease. They also told us that CL is caused by the bite of a sandfly, and its reservoirs are some animals like the rock hyrax. They gave us a formal training and asked us to select a community leader who coordinates CL education efforts in the community. The community members selected me for the task. Understanding the breadth and depth of the job, then I, together with community representatives, had to reorganize the team. Our vicinity has around 9,600 population, and CL is scattered across the village and it affects significant portion of the population. Having received the training as well as the material and financial supports from the ECLIPSE team, we discussed amongst ourselves. Then we decided to call for the local council meeting to discuss on Guzwa or CL. We also agreed to add more community representatives who will serve as agents of change for the CL education. The council meeting would decide who should assume the community leadership role in the efforts to fight against CL. We then called the council meeting and briefed the community members on the recent event we had with the ECLIPSE team. I informed them that I was selected to coordinate the community-level CL education, but it is up to this council meeting to choose whosoever fits to mobilize the entire community. Accordingly, council selected 3 people. They selected me as a chairperson, the school principal as vice chairperson, and the community health worker as secretary. This was at a tabia or vicinity level. In each of the villages again, such roles were assigned. The great success of that council meeting was that it was equally supported by the local government officials and the church community. They were happy that CL got such a great attention. They even pledged that they would mobilize their followers and population to this blessed cause, so long as the treatment for CL is a reality. They knew it's chiefly a voluntary activity. Then we organized our community and reported back to the ECLIPSE team in Magala. The ECLIPSE team came again and gave a more comprehensive training to all the reorganized community members. They provided us with all the necessary supports. Afterwards, we prepared our formal strategic plan, which contains vision, mission, values, and aims or goals. Our vision is to create a CL-free community and make CL a history.
ካብን ጉዝዋ ነበረ ያ ነበረ ክንገብራ ኢና ኢልና ዓላማ ነጽርና ካው ኣብ ሕብረተሰብ ዘጋጥመና ድማ ነጽርና
We anticipated 3 major challenges during our planning phase. The first was a challenge from some religious leaders, as they were seriously resisting similar calls for change. The second was from traditional healers, and the third was from the community at large. They would doubt our efforts out of their disbelief on the unprecedented CL treatment. The second was from traditional healers, and the third was from the community at large. They would doubt our efforts out of their disbelief on the unprecedented CL treatment. Later, we practically faced those challenges. The good thing is that we already had prepared their solutions as well. The community members couldn't believe us when we told them that CL has biomedical treatment. They considered it as if it's a sheer propaganda or lie. But we challenged them back by letting them remember some of the diseases that recently disappeared, such as measles, whooping cough, and typhus. We asked them what made them extinct. They replied it's the vaccines and biomedical treatments. Then we asked them why this could not be the case with the CL disease. Finally, many of the community members were convinced. Then we kept on mobilizing the entire community. As a result, people with CL began flooding to the CL treatment center. So far, 36 have been cured, while more than 70 are receiving CL treatment. This is just from our vicinity alone. Those who have been cured and freed from CL are also helping a lot in our CL education efforts, for they serve as the best testimonies. Besides, the fact that the religious leaders and local government officials have owned the CL education program is also playing a pivotal role. Nowadays, it's their customary activity to give CL education after every church congregation or a local government council meeting. The same is true with community-level development activities such as the soil and water conservation campaigns. I think 2 things have contributed to make this a reality. One is the inclusion of the religious leaders and local government administrators into the community-level CL representatives. And the other is the consistent monitoring and evaluation mechanism applied by the ECLIPSE team. Their all-rounded support and guidance was instrumental. With a committed leadership all along the way, The entire community has changed many things and many people have been cured. Generally, the CL treatment issue has progressed well. Encouraged by the achievements on the CL treatment, we had to give similar attention to the preventive measures of the CL disease. You know, treatment is only for those who get infected, but prevention is for the entire community. We never know how many people would be infected in the near future unless we prevent. That is why prevention is key. Therefore, we began teaching community members to take preventive measures such using bed nets at nights, wear clothes with long sleeves, avoid sandfly presence by painting or coating their houses, avoid going to CL risky areas such as the caves wherein the rock hyraxes live, and the like. Finally, we brought a remarkable change in this regard as well. Of course, this was not as easy as I'm speaking about it now. There were many challenges in the process. Some people laugh at us. Some people think that we are doing it for the sake of our financial benefits and so much more. Speaking of such challenges, the key challenge was the fact that the entire community was resistant to believe that CL is curable disease. The second challenge was the resistance from the traditional healers who considered the biomedical treatment as a threat to their business. The third is the socio-economic factor that challenged parents who live on subsistence to invest both their time and money to take their children to the CL treatment center. This is particularly true when the CL patient is referred to hospitals in Magala City. One of the greatest achievements we realized through our collaborative efforts is the fact that Hagara Salam Primary Hospital started CL treatment services. So we now get the service in the health facility which is very closer to our village. People with CL can visit it for the CL treatment services they need and come back home just in a few hours. Taking children to remote areas for CL treatment is extremely challenging. That is why we say that the recently launched CL treatment services near to our village have brought us such a huge relief. Even in the service provision, there were some confusions amongst those receiving CL treatment. As a result, I had to visit the hospital and discuss with the health professionals and hospital management. We agreed a specific day of the week, particularly on Wednesdays, for the CL treatment. Afterwards, the quality of the CL treatment was improved and the clients become so happy about it. It saved much of their time and energy. Imagine had this back and forth outpatients travelers been to Magala, which requires the economically poor farmers more in terms of transportation, accommodation, meals, and the like. In short, it's the launching of the CL treatment in Hagara Salam Hospital that enormously energized our CL education efforts and boosted the morale of our community. Speaking of the sustainability of our CL education, after the ECLIPSE interventions, I'd like to give the teacher and student analogy. A teacher teaches to create better educated citizens, and the students don't depend on their teachers for life. They rather become teachers in turn. Similarly, you have trained us very well. Projects and NGOs interventions never stay forever. They come, help communities, and go. We are now fully aware of the CL disease, its causes, prevention, transmission, and treatment. So we will take care of our own health issues. Our community-level task force will remain organized and sustain our CL education efforts. When we say we will make CL a history, it's only depending on our long-term strategy. There is no disease that disappears in a short-term campaign. Community awareness can't be fully realized in such a brief campaign. It requires concerted and sustained efforts. Currently, we can't claim that our more than 9,600 community members have the desired CL awareness. It's impractical. After all, it's through time and diverse mechanisms, including community levels, initiatives, and ownerships, that CL awareness can be realized. It's when the community owns that the students would be teachers. We're working and continue to work towards this. For example, as I speak, there is a committee meeting discussing on CL and related seasonal health issues. During this busy planting season, many youngsters do spend their night keeping their cattle in the grazing areas very far from their homes. So the committee is discussing on how these young people should prevent themselves from the bites of sandflies. What I expect from our community is to keep the momentum. Every member of the community should take that CL is about him or herself. It should depend on its potentials. As a community, we need to think that the CL issue is about our children. So we should know and behave like we are CL experts. It's only then that we can make CL a history, because it's only when CL becomes a history at household level that we can make it a history at community level. That is why the preventive measures be taken so seriously by every member of the community. This way our vision will be realized. The vision, mission, values and aims should be set and implemented by the community itself. At the end, we will be able to realize them at community level too. We hope the Tigray Regional Health Bureau will label CL a serious public health problem, because ensuring the health conditions of its people is the primary duty of a government. What else can it do? It's only a healthy society that can realize national development and ensure stable state. If the youth is exposed to CL, it would be a great loss. That is why expanding the CL treatment facilities and sustaining the CL drugs is critically important. The Tigray Regional Health Bureau should give even more attention to CL. For this to happen, the role of the ECLIPSE team remains to be vital. I am sure you will not abandon the baby you gave birth to and helped grow with due care, because if community level interventions are abandoned to the community alone in such a short time, there are risks to their sustainability, chiefly due to time and attention. People may prioritize their farming activities, so your reminders and follow-ups will still be very helpful for our community. Your recent visits together with the Brazilian team and the guests from the UK were very much encouraging. It passed a great message. We can understand the level of attention being given to the CL disease. It also means a lot in terms of attention you gave to our community and its efforts. Therefore, we hope this will continue